Hey, this is A Hermit here, and I got a question, so I'm gonna try and answer it for you. And basically, what this mom is saying is, she said, could you make a video about how to convince the grandparents to have a positive attitude about homeschooling a child? Apparently, my parents have a very low opinion of my ability to teach. I'm a single mom alone and all this, and they are wearing me down with negativity. Um, that's really hard. When I first started homeschooling my kids, I was terrified to tell my family. In particular, one brother who's since passed away, because he's very pushy, bossy, and liked to tell me what to do and liked to give me a hard time if I didn't do what he said. Um, and I really fretted about telling him, that I wanted to homeschool my kids. And so I didn't for a while. And when I finally did, he said, why would I expect anything different from you? You've always done things differently. You're weird, but it'll work out fine. Um, but that's not your case, of course. Your case is that your parents are saying, what, are you crazy? How are you going to teach this kid, et cetera, and so forth. Um, Other family, I'm not going to say that. Other family members, on the other hand, gave me a little bit of a hard time, but no one was blatantly in my face about it, because I just don't have that type of personality that allows people to walk up to me and say, what are you doing? Don't do it this way, blah, blah, blah. With the exception of the brother I mentioned, people might want to say things to me, but they tend to sugarcoat it. So instead of people saying, how are you going to educate your kids, they would say things like, how's the schooling going? Are the kids doing okay? Are they learning well? Things of that nature, very sweet. When previously they never asked about school before. So the fact that there was suddenly a question and suddenly a serious interest in school told me that they were concerned. That was the only real blatant concern I got. The best and probably the only way to convince people around you that you know what you're doing in homeschooling your kids is to just go ahead and homeschool your kids and to do a good job. I know, it's probably not what you want to hear. But after about 2 years of my homeschooling my kids, I started hearing, wow, they're really smart. They're amazing. They know that already? That's a couple of years above grade level. And so people, even though they weren't saying anything, were watching and observing extremely closely. And so when they saw that we were getting good results, they relaxed. They relaxed. And they got more in the homeschooling. And then a couple of years later, I started getting, okay, so you homeschooled, and we're approaching high school, so maybe it's perhaps time to go to high school. And now I'm in that whole battle again, because my son officially starts high school next year. And so people are saying, well, you had your fun. You taught him well. Let him go. Let him socialize and have, that experience and everything. And I'm like, no, he's pretty happy where he is. And he's accomplishing so much more outside of the school than he could really ever accomplish in the high school. Because if he went to high school, he just wouldn't have the time to do, something beeped. He wouldn't have the time to do all the things he's doing now. So it's just kind of a non-issue. But, so, besides just ignoring them and letting your results speak for themselves, you can go to the internet and just do a Google search for homeschool statistics and pros and cons of homeschooling, and print it all out And, feed it to them a lot of the time. Learn your statistics. Learn your statistics. Um, Learn that, um, for example, homeschoolers with parents with no high school degree generally do just as good as parents with a bachelor's degree or higher. Homeschooling is the great equalizer in most cases. Um, it equalizes test results between whites and blacks. It equalizes test results between low income and high income. It equalizes test results between educated parents and uneducated parents. And the key here is, especially when you have parents watching and giving a hard time, if you don't want to disrespect them, you don't want to tell them to mind your business, mind your own business. You need to look at my earlier video because it told you to tell people to mind the business. Um, then you just need to wait, and let them see for themselves. Ignore them. Tell them, I'm an adult. I'm doing this my way. And if you want to appease them, feed them the homeschool statistics that you will find on the internet. And I'm going to go ahead and add a link when I upload this video, okay? I hope I helped. Bye.